Social media is manipulating your choices more than you realize, and I'm here to show you how. Have you ever wondered why it feels like you can't stop checking your phone? It might seem like just another habit, but in reality, it's much more than that. In today's world, the average person touches their phone about 2,600 times a day. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, many in India spend up to 7 hours a day glued to their screens. That's 7 hours scrolling through social media, watching videos, or binging shows on Netflix. If you've noticed this is how you spend most of your day, it's time to ask, what's this doing to our minds, our jobs, our relationships? We all know how much time spent on our phones can negatively affect other areas of life. But beyond missed opportunities, this behavior is rewiring our brains. There's a reason why, when we're suddenly without our phones, we start to feel irritable, anxious, or even stressed. It's more than just discomfort, it's addiction. But here's the kicker. Very few people talk about it, even though it's becoming as serious as addiction to cigarettes, alcohol, or even drugs. So, how does this addiction work? It all comes down to one key chemical in our brain, dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and reward, not pleasure as many of us used to believe. When we anticipate something good happening, like receiving a notification on our phone, dopamine kicks in, heightening our excitement. But there's a catch. Every time we get that reward, like a message or a like, the excitement diminishes a little. Over time, we need more notifications, more likes, more content to feel the same rush. It's a never-ending cycle. This phenomenon can be compared to when we were kids, eagerly waiting for a treat. Remember how thrilling it was when your father came home with your favorite chocolate. The anticipation itself was often more exciting than actually eating the chocolate. But what if your father brought home that same chocolate every day for a week? By the 8th day, it wouldn't feel special anymore. This is what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. Our brains constantly crave novelty, but when the same rewards are repeated too often, they lose their shine, and we're left wanting more. Now, you might wonder, if our brains function this way for all rewards, why don't we get addicted to everything? Why aren't we addicted to accomplishments like passing an exam or landing a dream job? Why don't we get hooked on personal success like we do with social media? The answer lies in two factors: ease of access and speed of reward. Addiction thrives when something is easy to get and the reward is instant. For example, think about social media. All it takes is unlocking your phone and tapping an app to get your dopamine hit. The rewards, likes, comments, views, come almost instantly. This is why scrolling through Instagram or watching TikTok videos is so addictive. It's easy and the gratification is immediate. On the other hand, something like studying for an exam or working hard at a job doesn't provide instant gratification. It's much harder to get addicted to something that takes time and effort. Social media companies are fully aware of how our brains work, and they design their apps to keep us hooked. They've studied what colors, layouts, and features trigger the most engagement, and they've implemented tools like infinite scrolling to keep us trapped in the cycle. The next time you scroll through your feed, ask yourself, when was the last time it actually ended? The constant flow of content isn't by accident. It's engineered to keep you there endlessly swiping, consuming more and more. But here's where it gets even more dangerous. While social media drains our time, its impact on our mental health is even more concerning. Constantly comparing ourselves to filtered, curated images of other people's lives leads to insecurity, anxiety, and even depression. We start to feel inadequate, and that sense of self-worth becomes tied to how many likes or comments we get. Even the political content we consume creates echo chambers. radicalizing our views as algorithms feed us more of what we already believe. So, what can we do about it? The key to breaking any addiction is simple. Make it harder to get your fix and remove the quick rewards. When it comes to social media, this means reducing ease of access. You don't have to delete your accounts, but try deleting the apps from your phone. This makes it just a bit more difficult to check them, forcing you to use a browser or a laptop instead. If that's too extreme, consider turning off notifications so your brain isn't constantly expecting rewards. This way, you're in control of when and why you check your social media, rather than letting the apps dictate your behavior. For those who feel their addiction is severe, you can go a step further. Use private browsing when logging into social media. This means you'll have to enter your password every time, adding another layer of difficulty and reducing the temptation to mindlessly scroll. The harder it is to access, the easier it becomes to break the habit. Another practical tip is to keep your phone on silent, as I do. This simple step removes the constant distractions and helps you focus on your tasks. You won't feel the need to check your phone every few minutes because you're not being constantly alerted to new messages or notifications. Believe it or not, the average person unlocks their phone 110 times a day. If you reduce the number of distractions, you'll naturally reduce the need to check your phone so often. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, the best rewards in life are the ones that require time and effort. Don't let instant gratification steal your focus and happiness.